Alright, fuel selector is on the left. Engine gauges all look fine. Flaps, we're going to set to 1 notch. Takeoff, trim is neutral. Transponder is on alt. Doors are shut. Okay. South Valley traffic arrow 28 Mike Charlie's holding short of runway 16, South Valley. Alright, I'm just looking for other airplanes coming in. I don't see any. There's one taxiing behind us. I don't see anyone in the air. South Valley traffic arrow 28 Mike Charlie's taking off on runway 16, South Valley. Alright. I'm going to come over here to the end of the runway. Hold the brakes. Okay, airspeed's alive. You feel the turbo kick in there? Yep. Gauges are in the green. Waiting for 75 knots.
It's like Back to the Future. We have to wait for it to be 87, but it's 75.
75 to take off. Landing gear's coming up. You can see the shadow of it.
I know, it's cool.
Going up.
That was smooth, Jason.
Hey, yeah. Thanks. Really smooth. I didn't even know we took off for a second. Flaps are coming out.
South Valley traffic 747, actually taxiing from the fuel pumps to 3016.
Look at all those school buses. Where is that?
Guess it must be Jordan School District's.
South Valley traffic arrow 28 Mike Charlie's turning right crosswind for 16 South Valley. Every little maneuver around the airport has a name, you know, so you can report your position, right? South Valley traffic arrow 28 Mike Charlie's turning right downwind 16 South Valley.
That person's whole backyard was a pickleball court, Darin.
Oh, really? Hey, you're not too far up above. That's cool.
That's cool. To be this low to see the houses.
Yeah. What are we, about 1,000 feet above? Not yet. We're about 700 feet. Maybe 600. And the way you determine, switch tanks, the way you determine how fast you're going is you pitch up and down, right? So I'm watching my speed. I want to climb at 90 knots, and so if I'm going too slow, I'll put the nose down and you'll speed up. Oh, really? And if you're going too fast, then you put the nose up and you slow down. Huh. So now we're 1,000 feet up. South Valley traffic arrow 28 Mike Charlie is exiting the pattern on the downwind towards Magna at 5,600.
Parents' house is here somewhere.
What?
My parents' house is in that neighborhood, I think.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Yeah, and there's certain airspace, like just so that red and white tower right there and the amphitheater is the border of Salt Lake airspace all the way to the ground. I can't go that way unless I get permission. I can't go up above 6,000.
Tamra's grandpa helped build that tower.
Oh, really? Nice.
See, Tamra, I do it.
Yep.
That's West Ridge Golf Course right there, or the Ridge.
Yep. Okay, now I just passed into a separate thing of airspace. I can go up to 6,500 or below it, right? I'm gonna climb up a little bit. Pretty smooth today, actually.
Yeah. That's the new Mountain View corridor.
Traffic RV 33 Delta Charlie, taking runway 16 for south departure, South Valley.
They hear us. They hear what
No,
we're
he
saying.
can't hear us unless I push the button and talk. And then he only hears me.
Okay.
He was just taking off, same way.
Yeah, so see these blue lines tells you all the airspace.
That's cool.
So this little block here, I have to stay below 6,500.
That's cool.
So do you have to keep that on like AT&T or Verizon?
No, it just uses GPS. There's no data plan on it. I can tether it to my phone if I need to download something,
But
but
you can go up high and it stays GPS?
yep. Yeah, just as long as you get the cellular version
Oh, right.
that has the GPS in it. All right. South Valley traffic arrow 28 Mike Charlie is over Magnet 6,500 or 6,000 northbound. Last call. All right. All right, you want to fly it for a minute?
Do I?
Sure. Put your feet on the pedals. You won't use the pedals much, but just keep your feet on them. Just put your hands on there, and it just takes small movements, okay? So just as an example, if I turn right, you know, I'm just barely moving it.
Right.
And once you turn it, it wants to keep turning, and so to stop the turn, you kind of have to do it back.
Straighten it out.
If you want to go down, you know, you push forward, right, pull back. But we just want to stay level at this altitude. So you can tell if your nose starts going up if you're going to climb, and you can glance at this, and if this is moving up, that means you're climbing.
Okay.
So you have flight controls.
I have flight controls.
So turn left a little bit and kind of head towards the Great Salt Lake. Now when you turn, the nose kind of wants to dive, so you have to pull it back just a touch to maintain your altitude.
So Darin's got control now. He's
Yep.
flying the plane.
Worst thing you could do.
Just kind of head towards Salt Air there if you see it. Just to the right of Salt Air.
Taking the active 16 for departure.
Alright, so I'm going to look up Tooele's frequency, 123.0. Switch frequencies. Tooele traffic, arrow 28 Mike Charlie is at the Garfield Stack, 5,900 westbound.
Like you're just nudging it everywhere.
Yeah.
Like if I pull it back a little bit, it just starts climbing, keeps climbing.
Yep.
Until you nudge it back.
Yep. And this plane has autopilot, which is one of the things I was looking for. I can actually just turn on the autopilot and just change the heading bug or tell it to fly a route in the GPS and just flies it. It's kind of nice.
That's cool.
It'll hold the altitude, you know.
Yeah.
It's an old autopilot, so it holds it okay.
How tall is that smokestack? 1,200 feet, I think.
Probably. So just kind of go out over the edge of the lake. We just want to be within gliding distance of the shore, and this little green circle tells us our gliding area. If we stay out over this way, if any planes are coming this way, they can be on this side.
That was a wind that kind of kept taking us, like a crosswind to the taking us to the right.
Yeah. Yep. So you're descending, so yeah, there. Just kind of turn this way and head over that way towards Tooele. Just like on the shoreline, you know.
Right.
Just as we're a good distance out, just kind of follow the same direction as I-80.
Right.
Pull back just a touch, you're descending. It's hard to tell sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
And when you start climbing, you just do it slowly like you just did, because you want to watch your airspeed. You don't want to get too slow, or else you'll lose lift, right?
Right.
It'll cause a stall. And when you learn how to fly, that's what you learn how to do, is learn how to recover from stalls, so you do those all the time.
Right. That little peninsula, huh? Low, I guess, the lake.
Yeah. I've never seen the other side of the lake. Maybe we can like.
So I'm going to give it a little bit more throttle, and you can climb up, okay? So just kind of pull back to climb, and you want to stay 95 knots or faster, okay, when you're climbing. So if it starts getting slower than 95, just stop, you know, don't pull back as much. Start turning left. Tooele traffic arrow 28 Mike Charlie is at 6,000 feet, and we are 7 miles northeast of the field, just over I-80. We're going to pass through on the east side, heading south.
That's Lake Point.
Oh, okay.
You can tell his house because it's got a big red garage in the back. Ooh. That was wind.
Yeah.
Should I still be climbing?
Yeah, still climb. Do you feel like you're really pulling it?
No.
So it feels like it's just climbing itself?
Yeah.
That's what this trim is for. So if you feel like you're fighting it and you're muscling it, just roll this back a little bit and it'll loosen that, and it'll just set it there, you know?
Right.
Is that Grant still out there?
Out to the right, yeah.
So turn left a little bit. Kind of head right towards Tooele. I think that's Tooele. What's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of follow that road that goes straight to Tooele.
I can't see it there.
Yeah, you'll see it out this side coming back, I guess, huh? Or what do you...
We'll probably come back up the other way.
Oh, yeah, okay. I don't know.
No, we're going to go around the mountain.
Okay. So, Bill's house is right there somewhere. It's got a big red garage behind it.
Here, I'll take flight controls for a minute.
Okay.
I have flight controls. Let's see. I think I see it right there. No, that's a church.
Oh yeah, I see it, Darin.
See it where?
It's
No, that's a church, I think.
no, I see the big red thing in the back.
Oh.
Okay, he's gonna take you over so to see it on the
Yeah, I
right.
think it's up in here somewhere.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
There was a big red one, but
Well, it had a parking lot around it. I think that was it.
oh. So we were looking
Okay.
at the thing.
You see it down there?
I'm looking. Let's see. So I got to orient myself here. There. That's the road. Yeah, I'm almost seeing it.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
you're right.
No.
No, that's it. That's it right there with the red. That's not a church.
No.
That's his.
Oh, with the parking lot around
Yeah,
it?
let me take a.
It doesn't look like a parking lot.
It's gravel.
Oh. Did you get it?
Yep. Cool. That's Stansbury, Tamra. The lake.
Oh, yeah. Taking a few more pictures from back here.
Yeah. Okay, good. That lake's bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah, it's cool.
Little road across it.
There's an airport right over there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Can you see it?
No.
See all those just buildings kind of lined up? There's
Oh, yeah.
those are hangars, so the runway's just that way of it.
Right.
Done a lot of landings there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's where they skydive.
Yep.
'Cause I was out here golfing. I'll bet you I saw them in a 18-hole period. Well, I bet I saw them. What's that? 4 hours? 5 hours? Go up and drop people like 6 or 7 times in 5 hours.
Yeah, and so we're at 7,000. They go up to about 15,000 and drop them. Okay, you want to fly more?
Yep, sure.
Okay, put
Actually,
your feet.
I'll just enjoy the ride.
Okay.
I was stressed out doing that.
I'm going to get up over 8,000 because there's this little spot over here around the mountains for Dugway that you have to be above 8,000 to fly through.
Okay.
Or we just go around it, but
Yeah.
might as well get up.
Does Shane live in Grantsville?
He lives in Erda, Shane, right below us right now.
Yeah. That's basically where the airport is. This is all Erda right here.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I guess it's over on our left too.
Yeah. That road right below us right now,
Yeah?
he lives on that road up towards the mountain.
Okay. So I'm just looking at Grantsville, because didn't you say that it was like exploding or something like that?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like massive now. Just looking at it right here, remember it was just a few houses.
Yeah.
We'd go out there and
Oh,
ride the
yeah.
motorcycle and stuff.
It does look like a lot of new building over there.
Yeah. You should drive through there sometime.
Well, we want to go for a drive sometime, which happens all the time for me. So, Jason,
Yeah.
how much do you spend on gas? Because, like, how much fuel is this going to take for just this one ride? It's
So
not tanks, right?
this airplane burns between 8 and 11 gallons an hour, and it costs right now it's $5.15 a gallon.
Wow.
So it's not too much. I mean, the fuel is the cheaper part. The engine overhaul fund is a little bit more. Like you have to overhaul the engine every 2,000 hours on the engine.
Oh, really?
And so every hour I fly, I put money into a fund so that when it gets to 2,000 hours, I have half of that $40,000, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
To do that because my partner, I actually have to have about 85 to 90% of it because he doesn't fly as much as I do. We split it based on our percentage of flying.
Oh.
So I'm going to have to come up with like 30,000 or 35,000 of that 40.
Wow.
So you just climbed 8,000 without us even knowing?
Yep. So see this? This little bug right here, I can set this right there. I can turn on autopilot. And I said hold the altitude and follow that bug. So if I turn the bug, it'll go up. It turns the airplane
Oh,
to
gotcha.
follow that bug. Right now it's just holding its altitude. This little ball right here tells you if you're sliding or straight. So you want to keep that ball in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Then you do that with the rudder, with your feet. And this is a trim. You can trim it just like the up and down trim here.
Right.
And if I put a flight plan in the GPS and it has a route, and I turn autopilot on, I can just say, do GPS steering, and it'll just fly that whole plan.
How much is that to put in?
It was already in here.
Oh, it came with the plane when it was at.
Yeah.
Came out.
So this GPS is connected to this guy. This one is connected to this one. And so I have two different GPSs with two different navigation for redundancy, you know?
Yeah.
And so...
What is this up here on the right? Is that a city? What town is that?
Where?
Well, past
Oh.
the mountain over there.
Yeah. Can't remember the name of that town.
Is that where that fort is?
No,
That's too
no.
far. That's
Cedar
too far.
Fort's over there.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we'll fly over Cedar Fort here on our way around the mountain.
See, this mountain's really pretty with all the green.
The what?
You look over here,
Oh,
it's
right,
really pretty.
right. Yeah, the ochres.
Yep, the copper pit's just on the other side of that.
Yeah.
So this is what I do when we go on a trip like St. George. We'll just turn it on autopilot, and I'll just kind of watch the instruments, make sure everything's good, you know.
Yeah.
So what is that green thing around the plane? What does that mean?
That's our glide distance. So if we lost our engine right now, I can see where I can land.
Oh, cool.
I can glide to. And that's one of the things that you're kind of trained to do is you're always looking down to see if I lost my engine, where would I go? You know. Nice thing about here is there's plenty of fields.
Yeah.
You know. A road is the last place I would go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because of wires, cars, and telephone poles, you know.
Yeah.
You have a higher chance of getting hurt on a road
Right.
than in a field.
That just looks like neighborhood of polygamous.
I know, I want to go look it up when we get home.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been out there.
Yeah, I know. We only go as far as, like, the Tooele. And
Right, right. I remember there's a name, there's just here south of Tooele is a town. It's probably part of that.
Not a lot of trees.
Nope.
Probably right, it is a bunch of polygamous.
So I'm constantly looking at this to watch the cylinder head temperatures, you know, and the EGT, you know, EGT is exhaust gauge temperature. So you can get it tells you the temperature of the exhaust coming out and the cylinder head on each cylinder. So you can adjust the mixture, lean it or enriching it, you know.
Yep. The more lean, the cooler it gets.
No, the hotter it gets. The more fuel you put in there, it will cool it down.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to switch frequencies when we come around the mountain to that. So I'm
Get
getting
two
that
radios
ready.
to get that ready. You can switch back and forth.
Yeah, so I use this radio for getting weather and stuff, and that's on a different channel. And then this radio is it's built into the GPS. I swap for the talking, right? So I can tell which one I'm using on the mic up here.
Right.
Okay, so that's his nearest airport on your little gauge thing here.
Yep.
So what is ILS? I can see Reno, right?
That's an instrument landing system. So that tells you what kind of instrument approach that these airports have, right? So if I'm flying by instruments and I'm in the cloud, I can see that Tooele has an ILS. That's the most accurate instrument approach out there. RNAV is a GPS one, and that's pretty accurate too. But they have other kind of approaches that don't use GPS or an ILS system they're called non-precision approaches. So you get this kind of guidance to line up with the runway, but you don't get this kind of guidance.
Oh,
An ILS and an RNAV will give you both. So you can just watch this needle and keep it in the middle and this needle, and it'll tell you if you're high or low, and you just keep these crosshairs right in the middle, and you start descending and you move left or right to keep those in the middle, and it guides you right into the airport until you get 200 feet above the ground, and then if you look out and you see the runway, it's right in front of you, you can land.
So these clouds tell you what?
These are stratus clouds. Usually when you have these kind of stratus clouds that are high and thin and spread out, that means below it it's a stable thing of air. You're right? Stable mass of air. If you get the kind that have vertical lift, they're like cumulus is what they're called. That means the air is unstable and you're getting lift, and it'll be more bumpy. So these stratus clouds indicate that it's stable underneath. If you get up in those clouds, though, you might get some icing.
Yeah.
You know.
So an autopilot, if you're hitting wind gusts and stuff, does it react fast?
Yeah, it kind of handles that. It just, basically, in the mode we're in right now, is just trying to stay on that little bug.
Yeah.
Right? But if I have it in GPS, it'll auto-correct for wind and just stay on the course.
Cameron, I can't really see out the front anyway. You probably got a better view than I do. Because you got both sides, kind of?
Yeah.
That's what Laura said the other day. She said she was able to see out the front and the back better than up here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I can just push this button right here. It's missing the plastic button, but that disengages the autopilot. You know?
You see that little saddle right there, Tamra?
Yeah.
That's like a ridge. You couldn't see that from the ground.
No.
See how it's like a ridge and then it goes into a valley over there?
Yeah.
So that mountain right there is the Fairfield Mountain just west of Utah Lake.
Right.
And there's a navigation device on top of it for airplanes. So like if I did this, if I said direct to FU is the name of it. See how it puts that on there?
Oh, yeah.
And it shows us on the map that I'm going straight towards that navigation device, right?
Oh, right.
So I can come over here, I can turn on GPS steering, and I can tell it to fly, and it just starts flying that route.
So have you ever flown over the Uintas?
What?
I can't hear you very good either.
Put it a little closer.
Have you ever flown over the Uintas?
Yeah. Sometimes I've like I flew up to Dutch John. So I took off and I went straight up Parley's Canyon out to let's see, what's that city in Wyoming that starts with an E?
Evanston?
Evanston, and then over, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I've flown through Spanish Fork Canyon over to Price and Moab, you know. Flown through Hobble Creek Canyon. And usually, the bigger the mountains, the more I stay away from them, because mountains are just not good for airplanes with the winds and the lift that gets generated, you know.
That's why I asked.
Yeah.
I thought so.
So if I get up high enough, like when you're flying instrument rules and you're in the clouds or even not in the clouds, you have to be at least 2,000 feet over any mountain, right?
Yeah.
But you know, like Timpanogos is almost 13,000 feet. It's like just under 12.
Yeah.
So you'd have to get up to 15,000 feet to get over it, you know, if you're a flying instrument.
Right.
But so it just depends, you know. If I'm like today, we're not flying instruments; we're just flying visual flight rules, and there's no. You have to be at least 500 feet to 1,000 feet over the ground, depending on if it's a populated area.
Yeah.
Like right here, it's not populated, so we can go down to 500 feet, but in a city, you have to stay 1,000.
Right.
Switch tank.
Why do you switch tank?
Just to keep them balanced. So this one's, we've used a little bit more. This one's more full.
They're in the wings?
Yep. So I have a timer set for every 30 minutes. It tells me to switch. See, there's like nobody flying, man. So, let's see. We're going to switch over to this frequency. See if Salt Lake hears us. So this is Cedar Fort.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, so Bill and I went right here. See that town right there?
Yeah.
We took that road all the way up to the canyon around this mountain. That one night, or that one day during the winter, turkey hunting.
Oh,
So
okay.
we parked right there and drove up around this mountain in the middle of those. And we're just over that ridge over there.
Yep.
Our house.
Salt Lake approach, Arrow 28 Mike Charlie.
My ears are popping.
Yeah.
They might not be able to hear us. 1227.
Is it usually this smooth?
Not all the time, no. It's pretty smooth today. Sometimes you kind of get bounced around. I've been in moderate turbulence will like hit your head on the ceiling, you know, and you kind of get bounced around.
Right.
Pretty bad, but I do whatever I can to avoid stuff like that, just for structural integrity and comfort, you know.
Yep. That must be the high school right there.
Is this Eagle Mountain?
Yeah.
What high school is it?
Eagle Mountain High, I'm sure.
They have an Eagle Mountain High? I didn't know
I
that.
don't know. Maybe it's named something different.
Salt Lake approach, Arrow 28 Mike Charlie. We must be getting blocked by these little hills. So we're just gonna not talk to them, I guess. I usually like talking to Salt Lake when I go through the point of the mountain, just to, they'll give me traffic advisors, but there's like no planes over there I don't see on the screen.
Big houses right there. Big barn.
You can, I mean, we're getting a few little bumps there.
Coming over the mountain.
Yep.
Updrafts.
This area right here where the NSA and Camp Williams is a restricted area if it's active, so you have to like go around it.
Oh, really?
Unless, like if it's active. If it's not active, you can go through it, but sometimes they do shooting stuff over there and you just stay away.
Is that a golf course or is it just...
Yeah, that's, what's it, Eaglewood or?
No, it's the ranches.
Oh, the ranches, yeah.
I think the ranches is a really terrible golf course. Their grass is all crabgrass stuff.
This is Saratoga Springs. Oh, there's the temple.
Yep, there's the temple.
See it?
Here, let's,
Oh, yeah.
we'll go circle it or something.
Wow, they're already that far?
Have you watched them build these? Like, this looks like Payson. They build the structure, and then they bring these big, huge, prefabricated walls, and they just stick them on.
We saw that in St. George Temple, the new one down there by our house.
Isn't that crazy?
It's weird.
Oh, yeah, they're building one in Washington there?
Yeah.
Yeah, down by the airport, between us and the airport. Wow. When did they announce that one?
A couple of years ago, I think.
Oh, I thought it was just recently.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
Well, maybe it was. I don't know.
That's cool you can do that.
Yeah.
Cruise around it. Huh. Should we tell Bree we're going to fly over? She's probably asleep.
There's new houses going in around it, too.
That's so cool. You can just dip around it,
Yeah.
fly wherever you want. That's awesome.
Kind of fun.
Yeah. There's a temple. Oh, let's go circle it.
So I deliberately have descended a little bit because I'm already in Salt Lake airspace, right? But this little block says I have to stay below 9. But when I get up here to Bangalore by your house, I have to be below 6,000.
Oh, right.
All right, so
You just went down 2,000 while you circled?
yeah. Well,
I didn't
no,
even notice.
no, just I gradually started
Oh,
descending
okay.
a while ago.
West Lake Thunder. There's Jordan River.
Oh, yeah.
This is why I like going in the mornings or in the evenings during the summer. The air is much more calm, you know.
Yeah. Because the heat makes it worse.
Yeah. It just generates thermals, and when the air gets hot, it gets more or less dense. The molecules start going fast and spread out more, and so if it's cooler, it's really thick and it's really good flying, and your plane performs really well. But in the heat, it's just thinner air.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed when we listened to the weather before we took off, it said density altitude 6,000. That means at the airport, the real altitude is 4,600, but your airplane feels like it's 6,000 because of the heat.
Oh, really?
So you have a longer takeoff roll, a longer landing roll, and it doesn't climb as fast because because of the density altitude.
That would be great. 7 Alpha Juliet.
What was that?
South Valley traffic arrow 2 Mike Charlie is about 4 miles south of the point of the mountain at 5,800. Northbound, inbound for landing. I just switched it over to Salt Lake air traffic control for a minute to see if I could hear anybody. So there's an airplane that's 5,000 feet above us over here, going the opposite direction.
Oh, yep, right there. Like right up there.
Okay, I'm going to get the weather.
Altimeter 3012. Remarks. Density altitude 6,300.
You gotta fly over our house.
Automated weather observation. 132 Zulu weather. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Clear below 12,000. Temperature 22 Celsius. Dew point 15. Altimeter 3012.
Down into the northwest stop line.
Yeah, that guy's taking off right now.
Oh yeah.
Do you see where the airport is?
No. Oh, where?
Look in the city and see if you can see a big bald spot where there's
yeah,
no...
over there?
Yeah, that's the airport.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where's our house, Darin?
Our house is over here. Let's see.
Oh, okay.
So we're kind of
it's
going
right
right
up
at
here.
it.
We're right in front of us.
Okay.
See Bangor?
Okay.
Bangor right there. That's Redwood and Bangor right there.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, okay.
South Valley Traffic Arrow 28 Mike Charlie is 9 miles south of the field, just about at the bend of Bangor at 5,800. We're going to do a few maneuvers here and then come inbound right traffic 16.
There's the pond. An old farm park where Gage did his...
Let's see, there's the school. So I need to come this way a little bit to circle.
That's the hospital.
There's the church. I'm looking for the canal.
Yeah, we're right there. You can see our white trailer.
Yep.
See it, Tamra? See the white trailer?
Oh, right.
Yeah, right there. The canal.
Yep.
There's our patio. That's awesome.
Yeah, so when you guys went out there and you were waving, it's hard to see you know.
Yeah, I was wondering how well you could see it. That's cool, you can turn like that.
South Valley traffic, Terminal 2 Gulf Hotel, taking runway 16 will be departure to the south.
That's like the biggest house in the area. It's funny. It looks so weird from up here.
Yeah.
So, if you go out that way a little bit, I'll bet you we can catch you on our camera.
You what?
If you go out this way a little bit, yeah, it'll probably catch you on our camera. Funny. We'll have to go back and look.
Oh.
That's cool.
Alright, I need to do my gumps check. So I am on the fullest tank, so that's gas undercarriage. I am slow enough, so I'm going to bring the gear down.
The landing gear.
Yep. Okay, I got 3 green lights, prop full forward, mixture rich, landing light on, seatbelts are on.
Yep. That's cool. We can circle that tight, huh, Tamra?
Yeah, that was really cool. Over Mountain View.
Yeah, that's right. That's where it is, huh?
South Valley radio check.
Loud and clear.
What was that, South Valley?
Radio check.
Oh,
Someone's just
checking it?
checking the radio.
Look at this view of you landing. That's a helicopter landing.
Yeah, that's that little hospital place.
Oh,
in
right.
Indiana.
I always forget the stupid name.
South Valley traffic, Terminal 2 Gulf Hotel, on the upwind, approaching the Oakville Mountain Temple. I got that southwest traffic inbound inside.
We're right by Oker Mountain Temple. Where's he?
Yeah.
Is Is that him right there?
Yeah, he said he has us in sight. We have you in sight also just off our right wing.
Tiny. See him?
He's less than a mile away.
Wow, you see him, Tamra? Going the opposite way?
No.
He's going right over the temple.
South Valley traffic, Arrow 28 Mike Charlie is over the brickyard at 5,600. We're going to enter a 45 for right traffic 16 full stop. This little still place that has all the still, they call it the brickyard.
Oh, right.
Airplanes.
You're telling me about that. All right. So where's the airport?
It's right there.
To the right. And you're going to land going south, right?
Yeah. So there's a certain pattern that all airplanes follow.
North Shade Hangar, taxiing out to standby.
You always enter on a 45-degree angle into the downwind, which is parallel.
Yeah.
And then you turn, and then you get on the downwind, and then you turn base, and then you turn final. And then everyone follows the same pattern so that you can, you know, predict what they're going to do. South Valley traffic, Arrow 28 Mike Charlie is on the 45 for right traffic 16 full stop. Okay, turning the green gear down. I make a habit of checking that 3 or 4 times on the way in. We don't want to try to land with the gear up.
No.
South Valley traffic out to 482 Delta over the city of Magna at 6,300 feet. We're heading northwest bound towards Antelope Island, South Valley.
He's over Magna, that guy?
Yeah, heading towards Antelope Island. South Valley traffic, Arrow 28 Mike Charlie is turning right downwind for 16 full stop.
What is full stop?
That just means we're not going to do a touch and go. We're going to actually stop.
Gotcha.
So if we lost our engine right now, we would barely make it to the runway. That's how fast this plane would glide down.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
It's a heavy airplane, so...
Huh.
All right. Turning the green gear down. We'll do 1 notch of flaps.
Well, you could feel that immediately.
Yeah, I could.
Start pitching down a little bit. So I'm going for my airspeed of 95 knots.
How far do you come to turn?
Out here.
Just you start turning right on 62, huh?
South Valley traffic, Arrow 28 Mike Charlie's turning right base 16 full stop.
Okay, you can feel it dropping.
South Valley traffic, 5434 Delta, taxiing to runway 16.
South Valley traffic, Arrow 28 Mike Charlie is turning final 16 full stop.
That's awesome.
And when you're coming in to land, you 3 in the green gear down, you have certain speeds that you want to hit, right? So when I'm coming in, I want 75 knots, 75 to 80, which is what we're at right now. That little beep, that's exactly what you want. That's the stall warning. You're about to stall. That's what you want. Right before you land, you want to stall, and then it just drops.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
That was smooth, Jason.
That was really smooth. I didn't even know we hit the front.
Is FBO the airport?
Yeah, FBO is fixed base operations. So it's a company that runs things, you know, like they provide fuel and services and stuff at the airport.
Okay.
That was awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's so weird you can just go do that.
South Valley Traffic Arrow 28 Mike Charlie is clear of the runway at Alpha 2, taxiing to the FBO ramp via Bravo, South Valley. I know, isn't it weird that I own a plane and I can just go fly?
Yeah.
I still think it's
It
weird.
is really weird.
I didn't realize that you had to know all the stuff about the clouds and but I guess that makes sense now that you say it.
I feel, especially being an instrument pilot, I feel like I've studied to become a meteorologist
Right.
because I learned so much stuff about weather, and I'm always, you kind of get obsessed with it a little bit. You're constantly looking at up in the air and looking at clouds and trying to decide what, you know.
Yeah.
Which is what you have to do when you're a pilot. You just have to really know weather, so.
So what do these videos just upload automatically?
No,
You have to take the camera.
I edit them.
You take the camera with you? And you leave?
Yeah, yep. I have a mount permanently for that one in the back that I just slip it in. But
You
this
have
one
one
just
you have one
suction cuts.
outside?
I don't right now, but I do have a mount that I can put one outside. I've put it on the tail and under the wing before.
Yeah.
Should have brought our GoPro.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. Well, that's what these are.
Your 45
Yeah,
Victor,
that's true.
shade hangers, taxiing to runway 16 via Bravo, South Valley.
I'll have you help me push it back once we stop. Need to let the turbo cool off a little bit before I turn it off, though.
So do you have a specific parking spot, or can you park anywhere? You can park anywhere, right?
Yeah, any of these white ones is where we pay for, but I've taken off before and someone took my spot. They don't assign you a certain number. It's just any of them.
Right.
But usually,
Oh, they're not your straps and everything?
no, they're the FBOs. Usually we get the same spot. All right, so
What's that tower over there? Is that a water tower?
That big shed-looking tower?
Yeah, it looks like
over
a...
there,
Yeah.
I think it's a army training something
Oh, right.
over there.
It's weird.